Good morning, everyone. We are excited to be here in sites that we have been opening all across the Commonwealth to administer that shot of hope that is going to help us defeat COVID-19 in the coming months. We've just come through heavy winter storms, followed by some of the most dangerous flash flooding we have seen in Kentucky in my lifetime. Please continue to be mindful of the lingering dangers of the standing water and of the concern of what floodwaters and damaged roads can cause. Our thanks go out to the many Kentucky heroes, emergency response, National Guard, Kentucky State Police, local law enforcement and firefighters that are continuing to save lives and protect people during these difficult natural disasters. Rescues, and they continue to keep people safe. And we're thinking today about how everyone, all of our families here in Frankfort and across the Commonwealth have been impacted. Let's remember that while right now our focus is rightfully on saving lives and protecting people, so many families have lost everything in the midst of this flood. It's going to be our job to help them dig out, to seek the presidential declaration that hopefully can give them a little extra hope and ability to rebuild. So we're waking up today to a tough reality of what this flooding and what these storms have done, but we're also waking up to good, even great news about the timetable for ending this pandemic. Late yesterday, President Biden made what I see as an incredible announcement that the federal vaccines to where every adult in America who wants to get vaccinated can get their first shot of hope by the end of May. That is truly and really exciting. It is hopeful. And that same hope you see behind us. These vaccination centers are a joyous, moving place. The experience in walking in of seeing people that are so excited to get a shot. First time we've ever seen that. But almost break down crying because they have the opportunity to get the protection they need. But also, it's that wave of emotions of everything we've been through this year and the true hope and actually being able to see that brighter tomorrow. Hey, I want to thank every single worker, Kroger and otherwise, that is out there making this happen. We've had healthcare heroes on the front line of fighting this virus. These are the heroes that are on the front line of defeating this virus. So we're here today at the Commonwealth Office of Technology in Frankfort, where healthcare workers are administering COVID-19 vaccines that are safe, effective, life-saving wonders of modern medicine. And they're getting them out to our people in a fair and equitable manner. I want to thank Kroger on behalf of everyone in the Commonwealth. From the beginning, Kroger and Kroger Health have been instrumental in our battle here in Kentucky against this virus. I remember back to the beginning. We only had one lab, our state lab, that could run them. And we were wondering how, with a virus that spreads this aggressively, we were going to protect our people. I remember standing at a podium day after day saying, we see a future where we could have drive-through testing available and elusive. It was our partnership with Kroger that made that happen. They created one of the most effective and one of the most efficient drive-through testing models in the country, and today it's the national model used by the federal government and others. I'm proud of that on behalf of Kentucky, and I'm proud that Kroger was our partner in that effort. Now, Kroger is helping us build the infrastructure of our vaccination efforts to help us get Kentuckians vaccinated as quickly as they can, and I can't think of a better or a more proven partner to help us get it done. About a month ago, Kroger helped us open our first regional site at the Kentucky Horse Park in Lexington. Since then, along with many other partners, we have opened 410 vaccination sites across the Commonwealth. We're getting better and we're getting more efficient every week. In fact, this last week, because our vaccination schedule, our weeks run Tuesday through Monday because we get the supply in around nations, vaccinating well over 100,000 Kentuckians. But that brings us to the main concern that I've been talking about for weeks now, that our only issue and what truly solves every problem we face is supply, supply, and supply. Because for every week since January 5th up until this last week when we had double supply, we put more shots of hope into people's arms than we got first doses from the federal government. We have asked for more doses, and let me tell you, the federal government is responding. We have had increases week after week. Even before Johnson & Johnson, we'd increased about 70% in what we were getting, and we are grateful for that. Yesterday's announcement, well, let's back up. The end of last week's announcement, Sunday's announcement that Johnson & Johnson was being added to the fold is a game changer. It gives us more supply, 36,500 doses this week, and that will ramp up after a dip in the future. It is a one-shot, highly effective vaccine that, like the others, eliminates hospitalization and death. And now, with the partnership, one that I've never seen and never heard of, between Johnson & Johnson and Merck, the timetable to ending this virus has been moved up and moved up significantly, and that is great news. We've shown here in Kentucky that we're ready for that supply. Through the end of February, we had vaccinated double that number in March alone. Right now, Kentuckians in phases 1A, 1B, and 1C are eligible for the vaccines. The goal is to ultimately put 90% of every first dose that we get here in the Commonwealth into someone's arm in less than a week, and most weeks we have done well over 100%. You got to remember, when you look at different CDC data, they put shot one and then your booster shot in the same statistics. We do not believe that that's the right way to look at this. That second dose, the CDC and the FDA says it's meant for a specific individual, and we're going to take a little extra time to get it to them, to get them their full immunity. We've launched a new state website, vaccine.ky.gov. That is your one-stop shop for seeing if you're eligible, for finding every single place in your area that provides those vaccines, for signing up for need to call. The hotline is 855-598-2246. They can do everything I just mentioned, as well as help you sign up for an appointment. So anybody that has trouble with computer access, 855-598-2246. If there are appointments available, we will work to sign you up and help you get the transportation you may need. For the deaf and hard of hearing community, the number is 855-326-4654. These regional vaccine sites are critical. They help us to speed up how quickly we can get these shots into people's arm, and the scale. What's possible here is going to be so critical as more supply hopefully floods in. It's vitally important that these vaccines go out in a fair and equitable manner. That's not just a value, it is an absolute requirement. Shouldn't matter what area of the state you live in, shouldn't matter your socioeconomic status, shouldn't matter the color of your skin. Everybody deserves to be treated equally. Long drive to get it. We have a historic obligation to meet this moment, a critical, important moment, and we need to make sure we do it in a responsible way that sets the right standard moving forward. Regional vaccine sites like this help us to meet those goals. While today is hopeful, and I'll come back to the hope, we cannot ignore the loss and the pain and the grief of this last year. We've lost over 4,600 Kentuckians, and through an audit we're conducting in the state to make sure that everyone is counted, that there are no unknown soldiers, that number is going to increase. You add on to that those that have been sickened, those that continue to deal with the long-term ramifications of this virus, how our lives have been turned upside down, the economic and other sacrifices that people have made, the hit on health. It has been a hard year. And we're going to need to give ourselves space and room as we come out of this. That while it's going to be hopeful and while it's going to be exciting, we're going to have a lot of grief to process, a lot of loss that's able to go to, a lot of people that we're going to be remembering. Let's make sure to give ourselves the same compassion and kindness and the same to others that we have shown during this pandemic as we come out of it. But the light at the end of the tunnel, it is getting brighter and brighter almost by the minute. This Saturday will be the 1-year anniversary of our first case here in Kentucky, and we're going to have a ceremony where we honor that. Thinking back on the last year and the hurt, it's hard. But thinking that in just 1 year, facing a worldwide health pandemic that only comes along once in a century, that at the year mark will be over 700,000 Kentuckians already vaccinated, more than 20% of our eligible population, with 3 safe, effective vaccines, and the promise that every adult who wants a vaccine is likely to be able to get it in the next 3 months. That's both special and it's hopeful. And so to everybody out there that's still having trouble signing up, I get it. We've had real supply issues, but just think about that. You should be able to get your appointment within the next 3 months. So continue to mask up, continue to do your part, and the light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer and closer. And with that, I'll turn it over to our Lieutenant Governor, Jacquelyn Coleman.
Thank you so much, Governor. I just am so grateful for the opportunity to be here this morning. It's energizing and it's inspiring to see all of the good that's coming out of this. And it's not just because it's also because of the gratitude that we have for these healthcare heroes who have made this possible. The governor and I have traveled the state and we visited multiple vaccination sites, and in every place it's a sense of hope and relief, and the acknowledgement that there is a light at the end of the tunnel for so many people who have been isolated and uncertain and anxious for the last year. We have pharmacy workers, we have nurses and physicians, security guards, registration workers, transportation folks who are making all of this possible. They are the best of what Team Kentucky has to offer. Often these are the professions that are overlooked by our society. And so as we come out of this pandemic, it is my hope that we remember the folks who helped us get through all of these hard times. These groups are working hard day after day to provide Kentuckians with the tangible hope of a return to some semblance of normalcy. So I applaud the effort and the dedication and the collaboration, because that's another thing I continue to hear to all of the vaccination sites is the collaborative effort from so many different groups is what's making this possible. So this is the Team Kentucky spirit in our COVID-19 response. So I want to say thank you to everyone here today. Thank you for making this possible for folks in this area. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Pelly Roberts with Kroger Healthcare, who's been a wonderful partner with us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Director Dossett, and your entire team for allowing Kroger to be, yet again, a partner in this journey to help people live healthier lives. So we're super excited about that. And I also want to just take a moment to say a huge thank you to the Kroger Health team. As you stated, it's a wonderful team here that we get to work with who've been vaccinating the communities in the Commonwealth. You know, thus far, we've had about 23,000 vaccinations in the Louisville division, which is 60% of that through the Mass Clinic site, so it's tremendous. And Frankfort here alone has vaccinated over 3,000 folks in just a few short days. So really excited about the opportunities. And again, just a super thank you to the health and wellness teams, like you said, that our pharmacy technicians, our pharmacy interns, our pharmacists, and our TLC nurses that are partnered up with the state to make this happen. Kroger Health's vision is really simple, like I said, to help people live healthier lives. And it's never been more important than now for us to live out that vision, and we're able to do so here in facilities just like this, and also as we continue to roll out some of our brick and mortar sites. So making that accessible to the Commonwealth and the communities within the Commonwealth. Again, we're grateful for the partnership to secure locations like this, really focusing in on the safety of it, the safety of the vaccine. You'll see the safety of the social distancing here, safety for both the participants in the vaccination process as well as our associates that are providing it. So really want to encourage our Kentuckians to come out, get the vaccine, like you said, schedule the appointments. With Kroger, you can go to kroger.com/COVID vaccine. If you can't get through there, you can also call 1-866-211-5320 to schedule an appointment. And as vaccines, like you said, become more available, we are going to be standing right there tall, ready to help provide those to the communities as well. Kroger stands behind this vaccine, so much so that we have even offered $100 to our associates, our own associates that receive the full vaccine schedule. So it's a huge, huge win for our communities again, as we open up the phases, and thank you, Governor, for continuing to open up phases so it becomes more accessible to all of our communities within the Commonwealth. We're happy to continue this partnership and this journey to help people live healthier lives. And with that, I just thank you. And I'll turn it over to Director Dossett.
I've seen that jacket before. Great advertisement. Thank you, Governor. And as his comments in the opening, hats off to all the first responders all over the Commonwealth, and that includes local, state, federal, everybody that's out there. We have had one of the most prolific events of continued severe weather in the Commonwealth's history, snowstorm, ice storm, flooding, all coupled with the pandemic. So thank you to all of our first responders. So just an opportunity to show you a little bit of what goes behind the scenes in order to bring our sites to fruition. Support and partnership with Kentucky COVID's regional distribution sites. I am on a personal first-name basis with Aaron, Pelly, Megan, Ryan, and have been so for the past year. They certainly have brought our testing testing program to fruition, and now the vaccine distribution. So thank you so much. A few words about our partners, about the collaboration. Kentucky Emergency Management leads the Unified Command Group that plans the logistics for these sites. The logistics group is integrated as part of the Governor's Vaccine Task Force, led by Secretary Jim Gray. Again, hats off to our Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. They have been working for weeks, literally, in the snow, ice, and now in the flooding. We meet daily to develop planning initiatives and strategize for regional vaccine sites. The group is tasked with review of regional site plans and research for capabilities. As those are processed, we recommend sites for the vaccine task force. The logistics group also provided oversight for similar delivery testing process that we played out across the Commonwealth in about 43 locations. Kroger put us on the map with 70,000 tests, the first mass testing sites across the Commonwealth. And as the Governor indicated, this was the template for their national rollout of testing sites. So thank you again. We're extremely fortunate to have the partnerships and support from local, state, and federal government. Each state-sponsored regional site typically requires about 50 personnel to run them, in addition to Kroger's personnel. So thank you to our site hosts, the Davenport family. They actually own this building, and they've provided it at no charge. Thank you to Aaron. Aaron offered help this morning for flooding in some of our counties that are still having impact, and we'll take you up on that offer. Thanks to the Franklin County Judge Executive, Houston Wells, the City of Frankfort Mayor, Lane Wilkerson, the Franklin County the Frankfort PD and Fire Department, our state and local partners that support Kentucky Emergency Management, our Kentucky Health Department, Transportation Cabinet, Kentucky State Police, our National Guard certainly, and Kentucky Board of EMS. Thank you again for the partnerships and the exceptional effort that allow us to do this.
We miss Mike Davenport, but his aid to the Commonwealth continues to go on, and we appreciate his family. All right, we'll open it up for some questions, and then they got to get to vaccinating. Anybody?
Governor, just quickly, I know we just started phase 1C, but now with the news of all these vaccines being available by the end of May, is there any looking forward to the next phase and when that might start?
So we will need to see as we go in 1C how quickly it can move. But if you think about the numbers, approximately we think about 1.3 million people in phase 1C. Then we got some in 1B that we still need to get vaccine to. Getting 700,000 plus first doses a month, we should be looking at 2 months or less to get through everybody in 1C. So this is now moving a lot faster than we had originally thought. When 1C we thought would take us 4 months, maybe even more. And Lord, I hope that's true. We'll be moving through 1C a lot more quickly than originally anticipated. Some other things that could impact that is how quickly we get more Johnson & Johnson having the single shot. Certainly speeds things up. Are we going to get an AstraZeneca vaccine? And when are we going to get it? That adds to extra supply as well, and it may be tailored for younger Kentuckians as well. So a number of variables out there, but we're going to move through this a heck of a lot faster than we ever could have hoped. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you all.